Both of them have cerebral palsy, and Erica's 4, I think 4, no, I'm sorry, Ivania is about 4 or 5, and then Erica just turned 10. But both of them, they have cerebral palsy, and they were both very malnourished. But Ivania here, she only weighed about 12 pounds when she was 4 years old. And so you can just imagine, how malnourished that is. But now she's up to 26 pounds, and so she's been slowly recovering and making it better. Erica was abandoned by her mother after her mother had died, or she was abandoned after her mother died, of course. She was only 28 pounds at 9 years old, but now she's up to a good 45, so they're slowly recovering, and I'm really thankful for that. So, those are their stories as far as activities and projects that we were able to do. I'll try to be quick because I know I only have a few months left, but it's hard to compress 2 months into 20 minutes. I'll do my best. So we got the chance to have a class with the local high school students. We had a class of about 32 students, and we took them through this series called Experiencing God, which was a class on just, teaching them the basics of just like what it means to have God in your life and what that looks like. And so Jennifer and I took turns teaching the class. We taught twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then Evelyn was, of course, our translator, and she did a very good job. I don't know what we would have done without her. That would have been really difficult, but it was a really great opportunity just to meet them and have that experience with them. So there's us in the classroom. And then we also had a series of classes with the girls on site throughout the week. And so each of us interns were assigned to teach a certain class. And so I was given the task of facilitating the English and the sign language class. Now, I personally don't know sign language, but we had a lady that came once every 2 weeks to teach us Spanish sign language so that we could communicate better with Karen. And so she gave us some sheets to kind of practice and go through that throughout the week. And so I taught English and sign language, and then also the human sexuality class, which was based on this book, which was called Sex and the Soul of a Woman. And then Jennifer taught the healing class, while Evelyn took care of the parenting and self-esteem class. And so that was kind of something that was more regular throughout the week with the girls. And then smaller, well, not really smaller, but other part-time projects, I guess. We had a food project, which was basically sponsored by a team that came over from a church in Alabama. But what we did was we went out into the town and kind of did a survey, and we tried to look for about 30 families who were really needy and needed help with food and that kind of stuff. And so we got their information listed, and then once the group came, we were able to go out and distribute these bags of food to them and just kind of help them out. And so that was really neat and just like a really encouraging experience as well. Also because there was one time where we went to one family and we kind of told him what we were doing, and he said, well, okay, I know, like, I am a needy family, we are a needy family, but I know this other family who probably needs it more than I do. So just the mere fact that like this family, like they know that they're needy, but then they feel like, they're okay, but they would rather that we help somebody else. Just that's not something you see every day, and people don't do that all the time. So just things like that was really good to see, and really big encouragement to us. So there was that. And then I guess towards the end of our internship, one of the last things that we got to do was we got to go to the local, or the public hospital in Tegucigalpa. And we got to visit the ward where the newborns and all the mothers were, and just kind of give them some gifts of basic stuff like diapers and cleaning toiletries and food and that kind of stuff. Just basically because when you go there and see the conditions of the public hospital, like it's very pitiful. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like some of these ladies go into the wards after they've had their babies and they have absolutely nothing. And their families can't visit them maybe until the next day for only about an hour. And so until then, they have nothing for themselves or their babies. And so they were very just thankful and grateful for what we had to share with them. And so there was that. Okay, so challenges and insights. Basically, I went into this internship and I was expecting it to be hard, and it was. I'm not gonna lie, it was very emotionally draining, especially very challenging. And, especially just being there for a solid 7 weeks, not really being able to go anywhere to just kind of recharge and escape for a few minutes or two. And the language barrier was also very frustrating for me, just because I wasn't really able to understand a lot of things or express myself. But despite all the challenges, the difficulties, I have absolutely no regrets. And I wouldn't trade this experience for anything, because it helped me grow a lot, and it helped me know a lot more about myself and just, my strengths and my weaknesses. But more than anything, it taught me a lot just about God's heart and the love He has for these people. And I just wanted to share this quote with you. It says, "God never intended for us to be mere recipients of His love, but He calls us to share it with other people." And so through this experience, He's taught me how choosing to follow Jesus and being like Him means learning to take a step out of my comfort zone. And I'm not saying that we have to live as those who are suffering, but we have to be willing to just live among them and love them. And so, as I mentioned, at times with the language barrier, it was really hard and frustrating, because sometimes you just didn't have the words to express what was on your heart. But when all was said and done, and quite often I found that it was even just in a simple hug, that you could just show them that you love them, and that's all they really needed, was to know that you cared. And when it all came down to it, it's the relationships that really mattered, and the relationships that we had built with them was enough, to just show them that they still deserve to be loved and cared for. And so that's really what the Heart of Christ is about. So, thank you.